course, we've all seen the fake pictures of Earth. There's a NASA official image. Again, for most of us, this is elementary in this. We've already discovered this. But again, for new people watching and listening, they have a problem. They're telling us that these are real images of Earth. Boy, what happened? I mean, did the North America shrunk, man? Right? So these, and then again, Robert Simmons, Mr. Blue Marble, so it's Photoshop, but it has to be. And of course, I listened to the interview where he said that. So 1,000 feet. What do y'all see? I see flat. Picard. Here, now, we're going to take a little journey here, back to 1931. August Picard, scientist, friend of Albert Einstein. I've shared this. Reach the stratosphere. And what do we see here? Right here, this man, a scientist, he and his observer saw the Earth. He said it seemed a flat disk with upturned edge, no curve. Now, this is a scientist, pre-NASA, 1931. Why did he have a reason to lie? He was a scientist. He was telling you, this is what I observed, which is these laser tests. What are they proving? Flat, man. It's flat. See, you got crazy. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to sell their product, which is to set up these very inexpensive microwave dishes, the 50-foot high towers, only 50 feet, which is your normal tree or telephone pole. You put a microwave dish there, and as long as they have clear line of sight, there's no obstacles in the way, they can put another one at crazy distances. They set a world record. Now, let me just get to this. They set a world record. Okay, I'm not going to read all this. I'm just showing you that I got it. See the microwave? There's a little communications company. And just so you know, microwave communication says that finally they can be used almost anywhere as long as the distance to be spanned is within the operating range of the equipment, and there is a clear path. That is no solid obstacles between the location. You see that? There can be no solid obstacles between microwave dishes. All right? This is their own words, not mine. Clear path. All right? So they set the world record for microwave length. Now, what they did, this set a world record. It is recorded as a world record for microwave communication. Well, guess what? You do a little math. 50 feet high, 146 miles. You calculate that. 12,575 feet of bulge or curvature. 12,000. How high is Everest? How high is Mount Everest? Be at least 2.38 miles below the line of sight. Not 2.3 feet. Listening this morning, you can Google NASA document 1207. You can pull up, it'll take you straight to nasa.gov. You can pull up the PDF. You can read this for yourself. Which means the origin and the definition of linear aircraft model for a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Everybody see that? Derivation means the origin. Definition means this is how it's defined. This is how it works. The report and all the math and the equations. Look at that. This report derives and defines a set linearized system matrices for rigid aircraft of constant mass flying in a stationary atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. From 1948. Yes, you will. Now, notice it says the page says outer gravitational field and shape of the physical surface of the Earth. Gives this guy's name, some Russian guy. Center Science Research, Institute for Geodetics, Aerial Surveying and Cartography, Moscow. Everybody see that? You can go through this entire document if you want to. I'm just pulling out something that I found very interesting in 1948 from Russian scientists that was classified. They stated here that where it is not determinable at all other points of space without the knowledge of the shape of the earth. But since the shape of the earth is not known, I'm not going to read all this, because if I read all this today, we'd be here for a long time. In fact, I cut out stuff. I just wanted you to see that a Russian scientific paper, so right here, said the observations were carried out in 12 locations at various altitudes above the sea. There is climate meteorological, chapter 12, verse 4. Assume, first of all, why would you use the term earth fixed? I'll deal with that in a second. And a flat earth assumption. An assumption means something that is just known to be true. It's just assumed because it is known. I'll prove that to you in a minute. But anyway, it gets more interesting because they have a little diagram here of what they're talking about. And this little diagram of the earth seems to look like something. And they tell you that this y-axis and the x-axis are horizontal. Oh, like that. Horizontal. And that this little disc right here is flat. And it even has a nice little dome over it. And fixed points on the dome that they use for navigation. It's flat, whoa, what, flat, non-rotating flat earth map. Oh, then it, oh, I'm sorry. Could we just substitute Pegasus? Unicorns? No, exactly. Let's keep going. Here, let's back up a little time. Back and side slip from radar data and the roll stabilized platform. Langley Research, the abstract. NASA Langley Research Center, technical memorandum, blah, blah, blah. Here is in the abstract. Basically what they're describing this manual is all about. It's a summary of it. Here's what they say. Equations for angles of attack and side slip relative to both rolling and non-rolling body axis system are derived for a flight vehicle for which radar and gyroscope attitude data are available. The method is limited, however, to application where a flat, non-rotating Earth may be assumed. The application for this whole thing has to be based on a flat, non-rotating Earth. But yet, we're spinning, flying, orbiting millions of miles. Been doing it for thousands of years. Michelson and Morton, they proved this a long time ago. These two scientists conducted numerous experiments to measure the orbital velocity of the Earth through the ether with light beams. I'm going to talk about the ether, and the ether is real. And these documents I found prove they believe it's real. And we're going to get into that next week. But and many present theoretical physicists guys believe the model, the lie, the Copernican model. They believed they were going to measure how fast the Earth was moving. Their experiment showed it wasn't moving. And they were like, whoa, what's going on? And they repeated these experiments over and over and over again and came up with the same results, true science. The Earth's not moving. For it. And all this unicorn math. Sprinkled with fairy dust. So this guy's doing a doctoral dissertation in this present time to help with guidance system of the shuttle, and now we have unmanned shuttle system. But he's doing this and saying we've had guidance problems, so we got to go to a flatness approach, to a flat Earth model. He got his PhD, becomes a speaker to the European Control Council, and he's telling them it's a flat Earth. We ignore Coriolis, meaning the spin of the Earth. It's completely ignored. Technology, the top technical school in the country, or at least one of the top. I'm sure they argue among themselves who's the top. What's this? Whoa. Why would an MIT professor, PhD, why would he assume the Earth is flat? Two different things. So when they say it, they don't mean what they've lied about. The missile position in space is computed relative to a flat, non-rotating Earth. April 1961, NASA technical document for calculated missiles, not anything we're sending into space, just unguided missiles like the V2. Everybody say it. Flat and rotating Earth. The most one can profitably simplify the problem is to consider the isothermal atmosphere, plane level surfaces, and a non-rotating Earth. They say flat Earth more than we do. Now remember, I have shown you documents here, and again, I'll put all this. You know, there's so much more. I mean, I'm having to trim this down. We're already at 12:15, right? And physics, it must. What we're going to do here must reflect the true physics. Physics. Because you don't understand physics. Okay, well, these people do. Right? Who are we talking about here? The American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics. And here's what they say. Rigid body equations of motion, reference to an arbitrary fixed point on the body. There are several approaches that can be used to develop the general equation of motion. The one selected here starts with Newton's laws applied to the collection of particles defining the rigid body. Any number of dynamics or physics books can serve as references. So they're saying the physics books can serve as references. I said, in this paper, the rigid body equations of motion over a flat, non-rotating Earth are developed. Present equations hold for any altitude. All right, let's see what they're talking about. Table of contents, introduction, validity of flat Earth assumption for atmospheric calculation. This is correct for any altitude. I tell you, I've been studying this and I'm blown away. Just going back through it. I show validity of flat Earth assumption. Validity. They're not saying, okay, see what some of them, this is what some of them say, that the flat Earth assumption is just to simplify them. But what this is saying is this so-called flat Earth assumption is valid. It's valid. Do you see it? Just so you know, the definition of validity. The quality of being logically or factually sound. Look at that. Academy Center for the United States Air Force, U.S. Air Force Academy, UAS Research, and this is for targeting for unmanned vehicle aerial vehicles targeting manual. Yes. Oh yeah, this one does have his email on it. Here we go, check it out here. The objective of geolocalization problem is to estimate range to target, which can be estimated using the flat Earth model shown in Figure 2. Now, let me explain something to you. I play a little golf in my day, too, in court against the government. From an ideal dipole oriented perpendicular to a horizontal and homogeneous flat Earth. Army manual. They tell you right here, it's assumed that the transmitting antenna and target and receiver are located above but near the surface of a flat idealized Earth. Over and over again. I mean, I could do this. Guys, I could do, look, here's another. I even forgot. I thought we had to do. Here's motion. Ballistic vehicle motion. A closed-form solution is developed for the motion of a ballistic vehicle entering the atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Frank J. Barbera, Cayman Sciences Corporation, Colorado Springs, Colorado. VG Karpov, experimental observations of dynamic behavior of liquid-filled shells. U.S. Army Ballistics Research Laboratory, Aberdeen Proving Ground, Maryland, August 1961, is a reference to this. But he says, and again, a projectile. You want to know where that artillery round is going to land. And what this study is, the one that has a solid explosive versus one that has a liquid payload. And a chemical projectile model is employed to predict the dynamics of a projectile in flight. These equations assume a flat Earth. Again, why would you do unicorn math? Why would you do Thor hammer math if they don't exist?